Hey, welcome to our first sponsor spotlight here at ICS. My glasses are steaming up right now. This is Eric Van Sluten. I think we're 6 feet apart. You feel all right? Can we take this mask off?
I do.
Okay,
Yep.
Let's do this. Let's take this off. I always want to make sure we're good to go on that, but hopefully my glasses will stop steaming up here. So this is Eric Van Sluten of Holladay Chiropractic, and you've been a sponsor of ICS for, I want to say, like 5 years or something. Is it 4 or 5 years, something like that?
That's right.
For quite a while.
Yeah.
And you've been around this place a bit in your life. Is that true?
Oh my goodness, it's like ICS is to me. When I grew up, ICS, evangelical free, was my stomping ground. So I don't know if there's a day that I wasn't up here during, for example, basketball seasons.
Yeah.
And, I was here class Monday through Friday, and
Yeah.
then on the weekends for practice, and those practices were at usually ungodly hours of the morning.
Right.
And then on Sunday we were here for church.
So for our high school, you're like basketball players who don't do practice in the mornings. You did practice in the mornings, right? Is that
5 a.m. practice? You guys don't
5
do that?
a.m. practices? Yeah. All right, I'm looking at one of those guys right now. Thinks that that would be a stretch, but yeah. Anyway, so you graduated from ICS. I want to say '98. Is that right? Okay.
Right.
And when did you start here?
I don't know when I started here, but I started in preschool.
In preschool, okay. So you were a lifer.
Yeah, so that would be 84, 85, something like that.
So one of the first years, even down a couple buildings ago probably. So, all right. So enough about that. But then you went, and I'm just going to do a quick summary. You went to Westmont College.
Westmont College after
and you met your awesome wife, Paige.
I met my awesome wife, Paige.
And then you went and you became a doctor of chiropractic. Is that how you say
right.
that? Okay.
That's right.
And she is as well. Is that right?
She is as well.
Okay.
In fact, she became a doctor of chiropractic before I did.
Oh,
so
okay.
She's
so
always
she
one-upping
was
me.
leading you along. And now you have 4 kiddos.
We got 4 kids.
Okay. And you run, you and your wife together a lot, I think, Holladay Chiropractic. And that's the business that we're talking about. And but there's a unique history there, right? So tell us about like where it is and how you grew up with it, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, for me, sponsoring ICS is a no-brainer. It just is. It's like part of my DNA. And growing up, my father ran Holladay Chiropractic, and just because of this being our community, right? I think of life and so much in terms of community, and just a lot of the situations where people needed help arose, whether it was my peers or my peers' parents that were in school, and they would naturally just have a connection with my father where they could go to him. And in chiropractic, the goal is offering applying your hands to the spine to remedy everything from low back, neck pain, sciatica, headaches, but in a fashion that's without drugs or surgery. And so he did that through my whole upbringing, through going all through ICS and evangelical free. In fact, I just remember at church, this is so distinct for me. He would, and people will still talk about this if you ask them if they knew Dr. Jim, my father, but he would stand behind them and he would rub their backs, and that they would always try to get close to my father
so that they get a little bit of a
background as they were. So
nice.
It was like a classic Dr. Jim thing, and really just the roots go very, very deep.
Yeah. And you actually grew up in the same building in the house. It's where your clinic is now. Is that right?
Yeah. So where our clinic is, originally we had a carport separating the office, which my dad built from our home. Like many dentists, like many family doctors, or, medical doctors, it was common for chiropractors to try and adjoin their facility with their home just to save on costs.
Yeah, totally.
And my dad just hated commuting, and so
So you want to walk a few feet, right?
We would always pray at the threshold of our landing, the landing on top of the stairs. Yeah. We would always pray with our backpacks on. My dad would come across from the clinic for 5 minutes to pray with us as a family every morning. Yeah, before you. And those are the special memories for me. Just going to ICS.
And you showed me like where that was at your clinic when I was there. Yeah. And now that breezeway is like your entrance, I think, if I remember correctly.
That's right.
Yeah, that's really cool. Well, if people are interested, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
So we have a website that's saltlakecitychiro.com. that's an easy place to check our services out. Honestly, calling our clinic, and if you have real needs, whether you have something that could be non-musculoskeletal. Oftentimes, we also see things. Believe it or not, we see a lot of pediatric cases of ear infections, of unexplained colic. Like my youngest patient that I see is but a few days old usually, all the way up to kind of like 10-year-olds, early teens.
Yeah.
A lot of the cases that we see in those scenarios are forward head posture,
Yeah.
which is common amongst this generation just because of the amount of time we spend
Interesting.
in
Yeah.
forward head bending.
Right.
And so, whatever the issue is, you can always consult with us. I always offer a free consultation. And so if you simply call our office at 801-486-9201, our team will talk with you, and they'll tell you, first off, if it's something that we might be able to help. And I always will give a screening to every individual that has questions about if my service might be correct for them. And if I don't feel it's correct, then I would refer them elsewhere to, to a neighboring colleague, or, we've got a lot of connections with the broader medical community. And so if it's not right to receive chiropractic care, we would do that.
Cool. Well, thank you. And it's fun to watch you live on the legacy of Dr. Jim and in your work as you do it here and throughout the community. So thank you. All right. I'll catch you next time on the ICS Sponsor Spotlight.